rarely stuff about Christianity that all Christians agree on in the first place, so that's not shocking to me. But aren't we spirits? Aren't we not in our earthly bodies anymore? The whole reason we have houses is to protect us from the elements. The whole reason we need shelter is to protect us from the elements, and it makes living more comfortable, right? Or literally allows us to keep living if the elements are too harsh. Why would we need shelter in heaven exactly? Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And there are a lot of people who also say the mansion thing isn't literal. It's more like a room or a dwelling place. Why would we need that either? Why would spirits need a room or anything either, or a designated spot? It doesn't make a lot of sense to me why we would need that. But back to the mansions, seems very materialistic. And on top of that, what's in the mansion?
Huh? Oh, okay, what's going on here? Why is everything chrome?
What do you need in the mansion? Do you need decorations? Who's that for? Do you need a bathroom? Do you need a kitchen? Do you need a bedroom for a bed where your spirit sleeps? What's in the mansions? I don't know what you would even put in the mansions. To me, this is just very like a basic human being, like, people love mansions. So if someone wants to live in paradise, give them a mansion, because that's what people like. People like to have big mansions. Like, that, to me, that's just such a human thing and not something an all-powerful God would create, because it's just, to me, it seems so limited and materialistic and so earthly. Why is that in heaven? I've heard people say this before, and people have mentioned the fact that, and this is, I'm sure, obvious to most, but that throughout the years people have done this. They've convinced, especially like poorer people, that they don't have to worry about gaining riches, or they don't have to care about being poor, or they don't have to care about like people hoarding wealth, because, you know, we promise that when you die, you will get a mansion, you will get gold, you will get everything you want. All the materialistic stuff that you missed out on in this life, we got you after you die. And I feel like that gives them, like, they're like shoving a binky in your mouth and being like, shh, you'll get it later. Don't worry about it. It's really messed up. I really feel like that's maybe a big reason why people push that kind of thing, is to get people to shut up and be satisfied with less in this world, and not question things like resources or whatever it might be. Hey guys, don't worry about us hoarding all the wealth. You will get it later. Do I have evidence of this? No. Do I have proof of this? No, but trust me, bro. Just trust me. You'll get it later. Okay, number 5 is living for eternity.
Okay, so she talked about some interesting stuff. I'm just trying to take note and remember, because my memory literally is the worst thing in my body right now, aside from my knees. Hoarding wealth from. Okay, so what are your thoughts? So she brought up. I think that was what you were talking about, correct?
Yeah. Before I even address that part, I want to address the first sections you talked about. Why do we need mansions?
Yep. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Let me shoot up the verse really quick.
I bet.
So this is in John 14, verses 1 and 2. Actually, we'll do this whole section. And I pulled it up in ESV and NIV, just to see like kind of the differences in the two. And one thing that I'm noticing is that when we do have these type of discrepancies, we do have to go back to like the Hebrew text and see what the word was for it. I actually have another video where I had to do that, and that kind of made a difference on my outlook, because I was literally about to just go ham. But anyways, verses 1 to 5. Let your hearts not be troubled. Believe in God. Believe also in me. In my Father's house are many rooms. If it were not so, would I have told you? I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go to prepare a place for you, I will come again and will take you there, and will take you to myself, that where I am, you may also be, and you know the way to where I am going. In NIV, do not let your hearts be troubled. Believe in God. believe also in me. My Father's house has many rooms. Oh, wait, it says rooms is here as well. Which NIV? It's probably King James. No one King James. Here we go. Yeah, King James. Verse 2. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive unto you myself, that where I am, there ye may also be. And whither I go, ye know the way, ye know. There we go. So that's kind of the verses in which she was hinting at in regards to the mansions and the rooms. Why do we need mansions and rooms in heaven if we are just spirits, if we're just these little ghost figures in heaven? What we need rooms for?
Because what you're failing to realize making a statement like that is we're not merely ghost spirits in heaven. We are not spirits by definition of how you feel like we are. Though. We are in a glorious body. That's literally like saying, why do humans need shelter on earth? God put us on earth with this physical earthly body that is compatible with this earth. Why do we need shelter?
Exactly.
That's like saying that he gave us everything we need at the end of the day. So if we have a mansion or a room in heaven, it's because we need it. You don't know why, because you haven't lived that reality. We don't obviously we don't know whether, unless it says in the scripture, there's always light.
There's always light, no darkness.
Yeah. At the end of the day, wherever you exist in that physical body, there's other things that exist that you will need. You cannot simplify another dimension to just ghostly figures. God is not that simple. He's overly detailed.
Overly. We only understand so much. And the crazy thing is, like, it's stated in the book of Job when as we're getting towards the end of the book, he went through everything that he went through, that he got to the point where he actually questioned God, and then God comes and it's like, bro, do you not understand who I am? Do you not understand who created you? Were you there next to me when I made this earth? Were you there next to me when I made these mountains? And I think this is where he mentioned like Behemoth or whatever the great lake monster is or something like that. He's like, you weren't here when I did all these things. So how could you possibly understand the circumstances that you're in and say what it is that I did? We have absolutely no clue. Even the whole talk of God being narcissist, we only know narcissism based off of the definitions, like you said, in which we know it. But God knows. This is the God that understands everything about us down to our anatomy to make it specific. I look at certain situations and I'm thinking about things, and it's like, how is it that we operate like this? I think I was mentioning, yes, this is what I was talking about last time that I was going to bring up. I was sitting down with Bella the other day, and I was thinking about something. Oh, she was watching Love Island. She was watching Love Island, and then one of the girls on the show was just crashing out. She was boo-hoo crying, all this high on emotion, all this good jazz. This is great. Then we're talking about like depression, this, that, and the third. Okay, cool. These are all things that we feel as human beings. Human beings, the like top predators, the top on like the food chain when it comes to like the abilities in which things that we're able to do versus other animals. We are the absolute top, but it's us that's doing that. Why is it us? Why is it not other mammals, let's say dolphins, who are also intelligent? I was watching a video. Oh, that's the other thing. I was watching a video during that same time on YouTube Shorts in regards to orcas and how they operate. The orca whales, how smart they are, genius they are, and they probably know way more than we do. And for some reason, they never attack humans because they have some understanding of humans that we don't fully get, but it's like things are passed down with them, kind of like how it is with us. Yet we are here on land, able to go on land and water and rule the lands, rule the skies, go into space, all this stuff. And you're telling me that there's not a God up here that could possibly know way more than we do because he put us here on this land to rule it. I would think that he would know the ins and outs of everything that's on here. So it's interesting. Again, not getting on her, but it's like we look at the scriptures for what it is and not really just going off of what somebody said. Then we find the true understanding or have a better understanding of the way things are. We're not truly going to understand God. It says this in Job. Job tried it and didn't. The Solomon, wisest man ever to have ever lived, still the richest man. I was watching Nick Jones and he was saying Elon Musk is, I think he's a trillionaire now or something to that extent. And even with the money that Elon Musk has now, the King Solomon still had way more than Elon Musk has now, which is crazy. But it's like even him, as the years progressed, he was finding little meaning of all the knowledge of all the information if he didn't have God. And it's like we strive to get more knowledge, we strive to get more understanding and to do more, do this, do that, and the third. Yet the wisest man in the world who received absolutely everything that he could possibly want says that if I did not have God, the Lord, as the Lord that I watch over, the Lord that comforts me, the Lord that gives me everything that I need, if I didn't have him, absolutely none of this means anything. So it's just crazy. And the whole talk about, hoarding the wealth from the poor people, again, that was just one of those situations where that is from, I guess, the white man's Christianity that people, still think that the faith belongs to, and it doesn't. There were specific times where, yes, they did preach that. They did do that. They took out, scriptures in the Bible. Apparently, there are these Bibles that exist to where specific scriptures were taken out, and then they were just given that to, the Black Americans of, you see, I ain't say Black American.
Yeah.
But it's like these things did exist, but this is man that's operating off of that. This isn't the scriptures as a whole. And the scriptures doesn't come from Europe. Christianity actually started in Africa. Everything started in Africa, continental wise. So it's like, again, got to go back to the scriptures. We got to read the scriptures and then find the true understandings of the scriptures. And this is also part of worshiping God. How else can you worship somebody aside from actually taking the time to read the book that they gave us to learn more about them? Yeah,
we might need to redefine worship officially.
Worship has to be redefined, yes, because a lot of people, because worship is not a Sunday thing, it's not a singing thing. Worship goes way, way beyond that. And a lot of people got that misconception. Even a lot of people that are Christians, those that read the Bible and all this stuff, they still, use worship as praise and worship. Type thing. Like I used to do the same thing. I used to call worship and then just consider it to be just that. But as I started to learn what real worship is, when I'm talking about praise and worship, I say praise and worship, but I never just leave it. I just worship. Yeah, my bad. I said a lot, and I
gotta get better with my note taking. Yeah, because it'd be hard for me to remember. For one, okay, here's the closest memory I have is to her point about them preaching, oh, it's okay if you're poor, you'll be better in heaven. I was not aware that there was a pro-poverty propaganda being pushed by Christians, bro.
To this day and age?
Yeah. I didn't know they were preaching. I've never actually heard be comfortable in your ruins.
I think Mormons, probably.
For real?
Or Amish, right?
Amish.
Amish.
The simplistic living.
Yeah. Maybe them. I'm not sure, but yeah, to your point, I don't really see. I mean, there's really nothing in the scriptures that really push that aside from those that have less. Don't worry, because yours is the kingdom of heaven.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It doesn't say purposely make yourself poor. It doesn't say, don't go out and try to make a living. If that was the case, why would farmers be farmers and do what they can? Why would Job be as rich as he was? Why would Solomon be as rich as he was, and King David be where he was at? Why would the Apostle Paul have everything that he has and then give it up because he felt his line of duty to go and preach the gospel? Even the man that gave not the shawl, but the sheet covering when Jesus died, apparently he was also a wealthy man as well. We can live our life. We just can't make that living a priority. We can't prioritize it over the worship to God. We can't prioritize it over loving and caring about other people. This is where we start. We can't make it about self at the end of the day. When God blesses you with something, the ability to do more, you get a higher paying job, whatever the case it is, that doesn't mean you increase your spending so that you can do whatever the heck that you want. You find a way to be diligent with the money that God has given you so that you can then be a blessing to other people. And the other thing that people, especially with the prosperity gospel, get mixed up is the idea is not for you to make more money so that you can do more things, buy more cars, buy more houses and all that stuff. It's so that you can recycle it and give back to others and help and be a blessing to somebody. And the blessing in that is the blessing. That's where a lot of the misunderstanding is. They think that it's either you're supposed to be poor in the faith or else you're not living the Christian life. Or, again, with the prosperity gospel, you're supposed to make all this money. God's supposed to give you all this money if you give your money to the church. Apparently, that's the only way for you to actually give, to be a blessing to somebody, is if you give your money to the church. No, there's plenty of ways that you can do it. Heck, even with the Way League that we have, who would have thought that one Negaisian just comes out of nowhere and just starts up this whole league and clearly becomes a blessing to so many people, to where there was like one guy specifically that came up to us and was like, yeah, man, thanks to this league, like I actually opened up the Bible again. What more blessing do we need? We're not going to sit here and be like, all right, can you throw us another $100 on top of that? No, that's the blessing in and of itself. So it's like, again, that misconception that if you're rich, then it's like, oh, God bless you to be rich, to enjoy all the lavish stuff. No, that's not what he wants us to do. If you have the money to do so, if you have extra, okay, cool. That's cool. That doesn't mean just be bored with all your money. But at the same time, the focus can't be you. And also, if you're poor, yours will be the kingdom of heaven, but that doesn't mean you just continue and sit in your impoverishedness. Nah, that's not what the word calls for. Also,
that's where biblical discernment needs to come in, and this idea right here is basically the answer to her whole video as a whole. Like, if you have biblical, or even people who switch from Christianity to atheism based on how other Christians preached the word or other churches acted, that just, first of all, to me, tells me your beliefs were not based and rooted to yourself through, to something that was a good foundation. It was really just rooted in other people's behaviors.
Yeah.
And whoever told you what, you're following a human. You're not following the actual God that the human's talking about. As soon as you start questioning what the person's preaching because they're acting a certain way, and instead of going to the Bible about it and trying to get to the source, you're just going to denounce the whole thing because one human let you down.
One human let you down.
Humans were born to let you down.
Yep.
So biblical discernment comes in where if you have a question about something or somebody saying something that doesn't make sense, you need to go challenge it as best as you can to the Bible and not put all that trust into another person.
And we're called to challenge. I can't remember the verse exactly, but there is a verse where we're called to challenge. We're not supposed to just sit idly and just take whatever, because that's how you get manipulated. That's how you get finessed. That's how you get hit with the false prophets trying to steer you in the wrong direction. I wish I remember what that verse was, but there's a specific verse that says that we are to challenge everything that we hear if it doesn't sound biblical, if it does not sound right.
Also, to the point about what God knows that about us and what God knows that we need, whether it's on earth or in heaven, which is another thing that I feel like this whole video was technically doing. If you're not challenging the people's words and you're challenging what the Bible is saying, you're therefore challenging the exact words of the Creator that created you and everything else. You wouldn't go and try to have a verbal word debate about definitions with the person who created Webster, the dictionary, because you know they more than likely know more about words than you.
They probably know the whole dictionary.
You feel me? Or whether it was a collection of people that made the dictionary or not, the whole point is the Creator is going to know the creation more than the creation knows the creation. It's that simple. So the more you're saying, why is there gold roads in heaven? Why do we need houses in heaven, bro? Why are you questioning the very thing that's supposed to help you in the new level that you're gonna be in?
Right.
He created it. Like if there's missing pieces, it's for a reason. There's question marks, is because you haven't achieved the level to gain that knowledge to know why you might need a mansion. It's that simple to me.
Yo,
I'm gonna leave it there.
yeah, man. Hey, man. It's these are all facts, man. And again, this isn't to get on her, but going back to the same part, and we're going to say this over and over again, when we don't get our source from the scriptures and we just get it from the words of people, this is how we become in question of the faith. This is how we misinterpret what the scriptures are saying and kind of look at things in a weird sense, and then we start to rely on something else, which normally would be self. And the scripture says, do not rely on your own understanding, but lean on the understandings of the word. Let's get to this last part. My goodness, man, God is good. It's craziness, man. All right, let's get to this last section.